Hey guys, come on downstairs. We're playing a little Minnesota Twins franchise, bringing some baseball action to you here today. It's Season 4, Games 52 through 54. It is a 3-game series at home against the Detroit Tigers. The Tigers coming in at 30-20. We are 21-30. Again, we are the only team in the American League Central with a losing record. We are at Target Field. This is the opening series of a 10-game homestand. It'll be 3 against the Tigers, 4 against the Mariners, and then 3 against the Boston Red Sox. Jordan Zimmermann will start off the series for Detroit, a 3.22 ERA, and we will send Alex Wood to the hill. He is 2-6, a 4.68 ERA, and whip of a 1.64. Struggling just a little bit this year, and not getting a lot of run support from our offense. JACE Peterson, much better on the road than at home, but he has a chance to get the Twins on the board here. With nobody out, runners on the corners, he grounds into the 6-4-3 double play. He will not get credit for an RBI, but he does drive in the run. Twins lead at 1-0. We go to the 5th inning. Trevor May on to pitch for Minnesota, 2.97 ERA. He is our long reliever, one of the two, him and Chad Bettis. Bases loaded for Justin Upton, and Upton lines it to right field. It is caught out there by Will Myers. Run will tag and score. We're all tied up at 1 now in the top of the 5th inning. Danny Valencia with the bases loaded again and 2 outs, needing a hit to drive in a run, and Valencia drives it into the right center field gap, and that one will get all the way to the wall, and it will also clear the bases. A base clearing double for Danny Valencia, former Minnesota Twin. And the Tigers end the middle of the 5th inning with a 5-1 lead. We move to the bottom of the 5th. This is Emilio Bonifacio with a runner on second and 2 outs. And Bonifacio chops it down the left side. Diving play by the third baseman. On to first for the out. And it was Danny Valencia hurting us with the bat and hurting us with the glove as well. End of the 5th, it's still 5-1 Detroit. We move on to the 7th. Miguel Sano, batting .279, leading the team with 13 home runs as well as 31 RBIs. He's the leader in both of those. This one's driven to left field. That one is high. It is drifting back right at the wall, and it is gone. It is a home run. It just got over the lip of the wall, almost robbed. But that is home run number 14 for Miguel Sano. 376 feet. And that wall out there is like 375.5 feet deep. Bottom of the 7th inning. Or at the end of the 7th inning, I should say. It's 5-2 Detroit. We move to the 9th now. Paul Volcker. 3.98 ERA on to face Will Myers. Will Myers is batting .229. He's hitting much better against lefties than righties. He is just about right near the Mendoza line against righties, but he gets all of this one, driving it down the left field line and into the second deck. A solo home run for Will Myers in the bottom of the 9th, getting it off on the right foot. Too bad there wasn't a couple of base runners there, but it does force the Tigers to bring in closer Justin Wilson. 13 saves on the season, 1.52 ERA. And Francisco Cervelli comes to the plate with runners on the corners and 2 outs. Cervelli represents the tying run, but he skies it into shallow center field. And the Tigers get the W by a score of 6-3. Your final here in game number 1 of a 10-game homestand and number 1 of a 3-game series with the Tigers. Detroit now leads the season series 4-0. And they take over the division lead from the Chicago White Sox, who are right behind them at 30-21. We're the only team in the division, I think I mentioned this before, with a losing record, and we are 10 games under 500. Jordan Zimmermann goes 7 innings, gives up 4 hits, 7 strikeouts, 2 earned runs, and 1 walk on the day for him. And Miguel Sano with the home run, and And RBI for us as well. It was home run number 14. Let's move on now to game number 53. It's Alex Cobb having himself a pretty good season against Jose Barrios, who is also having a pretty good season but not getting the run support to have that translate into a good record. Alex Cobb is 6-2 with 2.26 ERA, 71 innings pitched, 43 hits. That's incredible. 70 plus innings, 43 hits. Jose Barrios now, 55 innings, 54 hits. That's considered good. A 1.20 whip for him. And we get things started off here in the first inning. It's Jose Iglesias facing Barrios with a runner on second, runner off and running, and he is going to steal third. That is Lorenzo CAIN. And Lo CAIN is on third now with nobody out. Ground ball, too short. Nunez has it on to first for the out, but a run comes in to score. Lorenzo CAIN crosses the plate. Jose Iglesias with an RBI, and the Tigers score in with the first two batters of the game. Bases loaded now with one out. Drive deep to center field. Buxton circling it, and the throw is going to be cut off. It is 2-0 for the Tigers now as Brian McCann drives in that second run. We move to the fourth inning. Mario Calero, rookie first baseman, already 1 for 1 on the day. 2 outs. In the bottom of the fourth, he swings and misses. And Alex Cobb having himself another fine outing. End of the fourth, it's 2-0 Tigers. Cobb only giving up 2 hits to this point. Raimel Tapia now in the fifth, 303 average with a home run and 7 RBIs. He's got the bases loaded and a chance to do some damage, and he sends this one to deep center field, and that one is playable. Lorenzo CAIN has it. Runner tagging from third will score, and the runner also moving up from second to third, and that is important with just 1 out in the inning. But the Twins are unable to drive him home. It's 2-1 as we go to the sixth. Avisail Garcia, 256 hitter with 2 home runs and 15 RBIs. He's got the bases loaded and nobody out, and he sends this one into the right center gap. It 2 hops the wall, and it's going to clear the bases. No, they're going to hold the runner at third, so it's a 2 RBI double for Avisail Garcia. And in the middle of 6, it's 5-1 Tigers. Eduardo Nunez, 1 for 2 with a single on the day. Runners on second and third with 2 outs, and Nunez, line drive base hit right up the middle. That should score 2. Runner coming around third, and scoring is Mario Calero. And the lead is cut in half. It's now 5-3. At the end of 6 innings, Tigers 5 runs on 11 hits. We are 3 runs on 8 hits. And Irvin Aviles will come in for Alex Cobb, a 4.15 ERA, just 13 innings pitched. He's facing Emilio Bonifacio, 255, no home runs, 3 RBIs, and a high changeup left up over the plate. Bonifacio drives it to the gap in left center, and it's going to carry out of the ballpark. Touch 'em all, Bonifacio. And I can't even remember the last time that Bonifacio hit a home run for us. I don't know if he hit one in last season. It might have been the season before that. It might have been 2017 the last time. I'll have to check on that. I can't remember. I'll check on that for next episode. Eduardo Nunez now. It's 5-4. Runners on the corners. Noontime grounds it to short. Iglesias to second. The turn not in time. A run comes in to score. They would have scored anyway, but beating out a play gives Nunez an RBI. At the end of 8, we're all tied up at 5. This game goes into extra innings. Kevin Segrist trying to maintain a 5-5 ball game in the 10th. Avisail Garcia to face him with 1 out, runner on first. And Avisail Garcia drives it deep to left field. Raimel Tapia goes back, watches it sail into the second deck, maybe even the third deck. I didn't see where it landed. But a 2-run home run by Garcia. And even though we come back from a 5-1 deficit, it is not enough. We give up a 2-run bomb in the top of the 10th. With our closer on the hill, only the 3rd home run that Kevin Segrist has given up all season long. The Tigers win Game 2 of the series 7-5. They lead the season series 5-0. And we will have one more chance here in this series to get on the board against the Tigers on the season. They are the division leaders at 32-20. And we are, 12, 11.5 games behind them. So we are fading fast if we don't turn this thing around. Let's look at some transactions. We activated Eddie Rosario from the injured list. He is back, and because of that, we optioned Genmar Gomez to AAA Rochester. He had an ERA up around the mid-sevens, I believe. And just felt like he was the guy to go. We weren't using him too much in relief. We had plenty of arms out there, and they were staying healthy enough. So we send Genmar Gomez back down to AAA. And we move on to the third and final game. Another Alex on the hill. We've had Alex Wood, Alex Cobb for the Tigers, and now Alex Meyer for us, a 5.92 ERA. And he will face Daniel Norris. Norris, a 3.04 ERA, a 1.09 whip. The Tigers have good pitching, and that is what is propelling them to the top of the division. Second inning. Avisail Garcia at the plate. He's 8 for 38 in his last 10 games, but he has hurt us in this series so far. He's going to line it right back up the middle for a base hit. Runner on second, rounding third, heading to the plate. Here comes the throw, and it's going to be up the first baseline. And Avisail Garcia with another run batted in this series. Lorenzo CAIN now, 310, 4 home runs, 22 driven in. He's got runners on the corners with 2 outs, and he's going to drop this one into left field right down the line. Misplayed a little bit by Eddie Rosario, but he adjusts and holds CAIN to a single, but a run does come in to score in the middle of 2. The Tigers lead it 2-0. Let's skip ahead to the fourth. Jose Iglesias, the number 2 hole hitter, batting .240 with 3 home runs. With a runner on third and 2 outs, and this one is just going to get over the head of Mario Calero. And a little Texas leaguer drops in and scores another run. It's 4-0 Detroit. They go on to win, going away. And they sweep the 3-game series, a 7-0 victory. And we don't match up well, it looks like, with the Tigers as we trail in the season series 6-0. And we fall even further behind in the division race. Daniel Norris goes 7 1/3, giving up 8 hits, 6 strikeouts, no runs, and a walk. Danny Valencia, another big game, was 3 for 4 with a double and 2 RBIs. Jose Iglesias, 3 for 5 with an RBI. And Martin Prado, 3 for 4 with a run, newly acquired by the Tigers. Let's look at the standings now. Red Sox 8 games ahead of the Blue Jays, 9 up on the Tampa Bay Rays. The Orioles and the Yankees down at the bottom, both double figures back. In the Central, the Tigers, 1.5 game lead over the White Sox, 3 over the Indians. The White Sox and the Indians are your 2 wildcard teams in the American League. The Central Division is the best of the 3, maybe the best division in all of baseball. The Royals are above 500, and we are 12.5 games back. Over in the West, the Angels, 2.5 games over the Mariners, 3 over the Rangers, 4.5 over the Astros, and the A's hanging back there at 9.5 out of first place. Switch it over to the senior circuit. Nationals, 6-game lead over the Phillies, 8 games over the Marlins, 8.5 over the Mets. The Braves, again, not having a good year. It won't take much to have a better year than last year, though. They were horrible last year. Cubs, 7 games over the Pirates, 7 over the Cardinals, 11.5 over the Reds. Brewers in last place. In the West, the Dodgers, 6 games over the D-backs, 7 over the Giants. The D-backs and the Giants hold down the wild card spots in the National League. The Rockies are 11.5 back, and the Padres are 14.5 back out west. So that is it for episode number 184 of Minnesota Twins franchise. Up next, we have a 4-game home series with the Seattle Mariners. They do not have as potent an offense as the Detroit Tigers. So hopefully we can get some wins in that series, maybe take 3 out of 4. So that's it here on Mama's Basement Sports Gaming.